Guys, come on, man. That's not like the spirit of martial arts to me as
No,
as a guy that can't fight.
no, but we've seen enough, kung fu and ninja movies and stuff to know what the honor of martial arts is.
It's all about getting in that tournament, fighting in 400 or some odd fights. Like remember the
Frank Dux.
yeah, there's a guy on YouTube here on YouTube. Check him out. Any one of you guys that want to have your like childhood ruined, check out PinkMan. He's called ThePinkMan,
Okay.
and he did a 2-part series just shitting on the real Frank Dux
Yeah.
and what a lying sack of shit that guy is. Because he did the numbers like, okay, he won supposedly like 48 fights. That means the tournament had to have like 10,000 people
Yeah, I know.
from all over the world fly to Hong Kong, do this underground tournament where they fought each other, and he fought, 40 times in a tournament, never really got injured enough. Like everyone knows, like the tournaments back in the early UFC where they had to do 3 fights. They had many times where like they didn't have a main event because the one guy's just hurt.
Yeah.
So you can't, or they had to have a like alternate, and the alternate would win because he's fresh because he didn't fight in 2 fights before. Like you can't do those massive tournaments like that. It's a lie and it's bullshit.
And for you people who don't know who Frank Dux is, he's the guy that Van Damme played in Bloodsport, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So in the movie Bloodsport, Van Damme's character is Frank Dux, who's a liar.
He's a lying sack of shit. Pretty much everything about the movie, even to his military service, was a lie. He was in the military,
Yes.
but there's parts of that were a lie. Everything about Frank Dux is a fucking lie. And people just have this they build these legends in their head and want to create these almost like demigods that don't exist, and I'm gonna bring us a lot of heat with this one.
Again.
But this is gonna be a lot of heat.
Yeah.
Once upon a time in Hollywood, the new movie.
Oh, yeah, we talked about it real quick last week, too.
And we talked about it briefly.
Yes.
But dude, Bruce Lee, I'm telling you guys, Bruce Lee, like he's 135 pounds. He was Chinese. He couldn't beat up everybody. And Chael Sonnen also said the same thing about Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris and a lot of these guys who were in the. He goes, they had one thing in common: Los Angeles, California. They were in Hollywood, so they could perpetuate that they were just the toughest guys ever.
Yep.
And it's not the case. I mean, we watch no one wants to believe that some like redneck or some like just gangster from the hood is just like the toughest guy in the world, but that's kind of how shit is, man.
Yeah.
There's some dude that's just tough and mean. Wes Watson will kick your ass, right? Wes Watson, he'll beat you up. Some dude that studied in a dojo all the time, he probably can't beat up everybody.
No, they're also playing characters. Bruce Lee may have been able to kick some ass. I don't know.
Well, he beat me up.
Oh yeah, he beat us up, no problem. But it's just like Chuck Norris. And Chuck Norris still plays it to this day. It's a character where he's unbeatable. Which technically, I think Chuck Norris technically is unbeatable because I don't think he ever lost a tournament.
Yeah, Chuck, compared to Bruce Lee, Chuck was a actual fighter that competed in tournaments.
Yes.
So yeah, he was tough.
But
I have to pee.
It's a tournament. These guys are not in real life infallible, unbeatable. Someone is going to hurt them. You can't have a 135-pound guy fighting a 200-pound, 225-pound man. Stones talked about this with us last week too. But it's just your Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris. It's just some kind of mythos about them. It's a character they're playing. These guys are not actually the baddest men in the world. They're just martial arts practitioners who are actors. And that's all they've ever been. Bruce Lee's awesome. His movies are fantastic. Love them. They're super entertaining. Enter the Dragon is one of the best martial arts movies ever. It's a great movie. Chuck Norris is also an actor. Not great. And his movies are also not great. And Walker Texas Ranger is, well, it's Walker Texas Ranger. It's fake and it's terrible, but it's just a character. Everything he's ever done is a character. Okay, it's just like a wrestler. These guys have been built up. They're unbeatable. They're not that badass. Sorry.